I'm just asking you to think, if there's a hell, who's going there? What are we doing about the fact that there might be a hell? Are we trying to keep anybody out of there? Is there a purpose to our preaching that maybe is designed? Is it, I mean, are we just, we're not, I want you to understand today that we're trying to live in not a fantasy world. We're trying to live in a biblical world. And in a biblical world, sexual impurity was condemned badly. So when we preach against it, we're not just trying to say the government cannot tell you, and we hate the government and we're anti-government. No, it's not about a political thing. Somebody asked me just recently, trying to pin me down at breakfast at a restaurant. Preacher, what do you think about same-sex marriage? I don't think about it at all. Why? Well, I mean, you know, you preach against it. Well, what does that mean, do I preach against it? I preach against all sexual immorality. Well, you think that's immoral? Well, duh. Boy, where you come from? Because it's political. They want to make it a political thing. The Bible's pretty clear. It's not about the government. I don't care if homosexuals marry. I don't care if a man has 5 wives. But he's not going to, you know, be an assistant pastor in a church unless that church is already built on fantasy instead of truth. And not because, well, we're just going to be the last holdouts against the government. No, we're not. We're trying to keep people out of hell. Because I think there is one. That might be wrong, but if there is a hell, and if somebody's going there, like Charles Spurgeon said, shouldn't they have to go there climbing over my kicking and screaming body? Shouldn't I be kicking and screaming and grabbing and holding and making it hard for them to go to hell if there is one? I will tell every one of you and every young person who's listening to the wrong kind of TV, there's no right kind of TV. I don't mean this as a slam like you're watching bad stuff. There is no right TV. Every television show is going to continue to propagate immoral sexual relationships. Everybody's going to shack up with everybody. Same-sex marriage is going to be in every TV show. Homosexuality is going to have to be in every show. There is no good TV anymore. Just say it and be honest about it. And we're going to watch it and we're going to wink at it and say, oh my Lord, and we're going to cover our little kids' eyes and we're going to say, well now, just so you know, we don't necessarily condone that. We watch it for an hour, but we don't necessarily condone. That's the way it is, but man, not here. You're going to have a hard time enjoying what you watch and remembering the preacher who got up and told you there are some things that might send somebody to hell if there is a hell. And I'm not going to let you go without a fight. If you want to shack up, hey, I'll pay your marriage license $72 to keep you from doing that. If you want to have a wedding, I'll give you a couple of $1,000s to have a wedding just so you do it right. Hey, if you've been hustled and seduced by a teacher on homosexual behavior or anybody else in your family and you just don't have anybody to talk to and you're scared to talk to somebody in your family, my phone number's in every Sunday bulletin. My cell number's out there. I beg you, give me a call. I will sit down with no judgment and talk to you because I do not want you to go to hell if there is one. And my final question is, if there is a hell, what are you doing about it? Are you trying to save your sons and daughters? Are you trying to save your grandkids? Are you trying to save each other? Are you consciously trying to make sure nobody you know and love goes there? Shouldn't they have to go to hell climbing over you and your objections? I don't know if there's a hell, but I know that Jesus thought there was, and Jesus said, everybody who washed their robes, they're going to have a right to the tree of life. that they may enter the city by the gates, but outside are dogs and sorcerers, sexually immoral, murderers, idolaters, and everyone who followed fantasy instead of truth.